GBP pros, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone that is on here with us, those that are catching us on Facebook, and those are catching the replay on YouTube and the podcast. Want to welcome everyone to GBP pros. Again, just to remind you, our goal is twofold, right? One is to help our agencies grow, right? Grow their client base and to get better results for your clients. And number two, if you're the business owner on here, to help you make your phone ring, get better results within your business. And we do this by having our guest family come on and talk about like their subject, their area of expertise, and to show over the shoulder examples of how to get this done, how to either grow your agency again and get better results for your clients, or if you're the business owner, how to get better results and make your phone ring within your business. And today, like we have, seems like every week now, Rhys Southern, how are you,
Hey,
my man?
I'm doing fantastically. Great to join you.
Cool.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
100%. And as you guys, if you guys heard the last time we were here together, we started this new series as far as how to get your site ranking, kind of like to show the best practices, like from zero. I know we had a typo in the title, but from zero to ranking with your website. And really, our goal for this is to just help you rank, help you what you need for your clients, what you need for your agency to get better results and for your business, right? So Riz, man, what's happening?
So, last time we spoke, it was a few weeks ago before the conference and everything. We were planning the site, and I think, let me share my screen.
Yep.
Was, oh, that's the wrong screen. What can you see? Can you see the
It's the Word document, GMB Pros, ranking, GPP, personal
perfect?
branding.
Awesome. All right. So, we went over this last time, and basically, what we're doing is we're building a website and ranking the website. Attached with that, we've got a Google business profile, and we're going to start from scratch. So last time we spoke, we had planned or started planning the website, and that was this stage. We went over at keyword research and what pages basically we need to build, service pages. So the client or the website is an electric gate installation. So they install different driveway gates, many different types of gates. And what we did was we went over the competitors, had a look at what pages they've got, what pages bring traffic to their website, and things like that. And we came up with the list of pages that we're going to build, which were these pages. So we've gone ahead and built some of these pages and launched the site. And the intention is to just continue building on to keep adding more pages because I think it's better to start with a well-structured site initially and then launch it than wait until every single page is finished before you launch the site. Like you're better off launching sites with some amount of content, but there's no point in waiting 6 months until something's perfect before you actually launch the website and start to try and rank it because it takes time for Google to catch up and everything. So by the time you've spent 6 months and it's already live, well, then the website's starting to do well. So that's kind of what we went over last time. And I guess what should we do first, Alfredo? Should we have a look at the site and
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's look at the site and kind of see what we got going on, where it's at now. That way we can get a benchmark, you know, and what's happening.
great. So the business is Pro Automatic Gates Brisbane, and one of the keywords is Automatic Gates Brisbane. So we thought we would include the primary keyword into the name of the business because that can definitely help associate the keyword with the name and the business with the keyword. And
So
we'll
in
just
other
go.
words, exact match domains still work. I
Definitely.
know that's a question people will ask.
For sure. And I think when it comes to the exact match, I don't think the domain itself has much relevance. I think what has the relevance is the keywords being in the business name, because when the keywords are in the business name, Google associates those keywords with your brand. And when Google associates the keywords with your brand name, it's very easy to, it's very difficult to over optimize for those keywords because Google expects you to talk about your brand quite a lot. So you can get away with talking about the keywords more because you mention the keywords on the page as you would normally try to rank, but also every time you're mentioning the brand name, you're mentioning those keywords. So that's, I think, the biggest sort of benefit of the exact match, having the name of the business contain
Got
the
it.
keyword. That's what I think. Because like we've run tests where we've used a completely different URL, but then called the business with the keyword, the name with the keyword in it, and it still performs as well.
So we're not letting Google guess what we do, where we're at. We're
Exactly.
telling it. Yep.
Exactly what we do. And you don't want to be exact. Like you don't want your business to be called Automatic Gates Brisbane, because unless you've been around for a long time and that's your name and you're already established and you are the dominant business, you're probably never going to get there. It's very difficult these days to actually have success when your business name is just the keyword,
Mm-hmm.
because it's hard to get like your Google business profile, your map pack, your map listing is definitely going to get suspended because it's just suspicious. Like even if you get the video and you have a genuine location and you have all the tools and all of that, it's a suspicious name, so it's not likely going to get knocked back. But on the site, what we've done, we've built the homepage targeting the main keyword, because we found that in this search, in the SERP, most of the other websites, it was the homepage that was targeting the main keywords. So we decided to match the same process. That's more common in Australia. In America, it's far more common to have an internal page that ranks. So it depends on where you are, depends on the process, but that really doesn't change too much. If we were to do an internal page, then the homepage would be branded. We wouldn't really have too much information about the target keywords in optimization, like in the headers and things like that. We'd more just be talking about the brand and the services and what we do and what we offer. But in this case, focused on electric automatic gates. So we built the homepage, we've got the different services that we offer, all of the different gates, a little bit of description about them, images, obviously pre-quote, form, and then we've got the Google Map embed. So it's quite important to embed the Google Map listing on the target page for that city, because you really want to be associating the specific page you're trying to rank with the Google Maps listing to show Google that these are connected. Google's always looking to connect the dots, and the more you can connect the dots for Google, the easier their job is, and the more they're going to reward you because the more they trust you. We always add that in. And something I would say, if you don't have a Google Maps listing for your business, I would definitely be embedding the address. Like if you, whatever the address is of the business, I'd definitely be embedding that on the page, because that definitely is going to help associate the name, your business, to the address that you have. So even if you don't have an actual listing, maybe you haven't got around to it yet or any other reason, you can always embed the actual address by going to Google Maps. Let's do it. So any address. Let's just zoom in here anywhere on the map. here. So we can click on a random address and you can share and you can embed the map. And this is always worth embedding if you haven't got a listing for your business yet, because that associates the address with the business. And even if the listing's not live yet, in the future, it's the same address if you do make the listing live. Links to the services, quite important. You need to internally link everything. So these link to the 4 service pages that we've built. Some frequently asked questions, nothing too special. A little bit of waffle, and then some testimonials. NAP, name, address, phone number. Very, very important. Put that in the footer. Most important pages, privacy policy, navigation, stuff like that. Your standard website setup. And then the pages we've built so far, we've got the services. I don't know if you can see that, but we've got sliding gates, swing gates, pedestrian gates, and commercial gates. I mean, no real need to go into them too specifically, but they're just the 4 services that we started with. And based on the list that we've already got, we're going to be building out the others as we go. The optimization of the website is quite important. So we've used Page Optimizer Pro. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with them in any way. I just think the tool's great and personally use them. It can be a little bit complex when setting things up, but if you do want really granular optimization for your content, Page Optimizer Pro is quite good. But I mean, a tool's a tool. Like, everyone has their preferred tools. I'm not really sort of necessarily here to recommend tools, but that's the one I use. And then we built your standard pages. We built a gallery page, specifically things that we saw the competitors have. So photos, an about us page, a warranty page, and just the standard sort of pages, terms of service, privacy policy, things like that. We built the website, and then the first thing we did was we went to Google Search Console and we verified with Search Console. And we submitted the sitemap into Google Search Console, and we then manually requested indexing for the homepage. Within the same day, Google had recognized and crawled the links, and within Search Console, they were showing up as indexed. And the next day, the websites were showing up in search with the site search. You see there, this is the pages are indexed, showing up. It's kind of like setup, I guess. Does anyone have any questions, or do you have any comments, Alfredo?
So no, I just want to make sure, like, if you guys see, it's just the very basic like structure of the website, right? So we did, if you guys caught the beginning of the series, we did like some keyword research, very basic, right? If you go back and see the video, it's not like this crazy. We just kind of basic keywords, kind of the keywords we were going after. We looked at the competitors, and then this structure, it's not this like, wow, page, but it's just the basic compared to what our competitors have. And if you notice, the only thing we've really done is some basic search. We put a basic website together, and we did use a tool for optimizing the content. So basically, with the optimizing of the content, what went into it is the keyword research, the keywords we were going after, which it will be within that keyword. It's going to include like variations. It's going to include some entities. It's going to include some LSI and LP keywords in there, so we can optimize for this particular area. And the content itself. So it gives us like the images, it gives us the word count, I should say, and the density of certain words that are in there to be able to rank. Now, on top of that, we were helping with the basics, right? The search console, the crawling. That's kind of the biggest things at the moment is, okay, we got it there, we got it built, and then we let Google know, hey, this is where we're at. This is what what we do by connecting the Google Search Console, and with that, you'll notice, guys, once you put in the Google Search Console, you will start getting emails why things are not crawled, why things are not indexed, what is going on with the site, any error messages. If you also heard Riz, the sitemap as well. We want to tell Google these are our pages, these are what we've have built so far, and fairly quickly Google will index, will start showing up as Riz showed us here. So those are the kind of things that you want to do, right? Keyword, content, a tool to optimize that content. Take a look at your competitors. Google Search Console, sitemap, right? And you also heard Riz talk about interlinking, right? So we're interlinking within the pages. And this is just basic stuff that I think a lot of us miss, or as the business owners, we depend on other people to do it, or even as marketing companies, these are the basics that we're trying to look for all the shiny objects or the silver bullet or like, what's the trick? That is the trick, is doing the basics, the foundational, the best practices, best in class things to do. So I just want to make sure that you guys picked up on what Riz is putting down. And then you hear me like speak about this a lot, but we're showing you, okay, what does that look like? And this is exactly what that looks like in here, as far as, okay, now I know what they mean by this, or when Alfred says that, what that looks like as far as a visual on here. So hopefully that made sense. If you have any questions, guys, on Facebook, I know we have a few people on Facebook. Put in your question. We have a few people here on Zoom. Put in your questions. Don't hesitate. Just type it up, and I promise you we'll cover it.
Definitely. So like that's the thing with the Search Console, really, you just connect it, and then all we did come into the sitemaps, put in the sitemap. Now, something that no one ever told me when I first started doing this stuff is that pretty much always when you first put the sitemap in, it's going to say failed. It's going to say it didn't work. It's actually a lie. It actually worked. And you're going to come back a day or two later and you're going to see that it's successful. And I don't know why it does it. I think some of these sitemaps where if you go to the sitemap, there's other sitemaps in it where there'll be like a page and a post sitemap. If it's a sitemap like this, which most of the tools are, when you first put it into Google Search Console, it's going to show some errors. Just ignore the errors because it most likely worked. And if you come in here a couple of days later, it should work. This failed, but I don't have any post site tags anyway. Missing. I don't have any tags, so that's annoying. But that worked. And then what I like to do as well is I like to take the website homepage and just put it in the top here. Click enter, and then it's gonna. This is where you can check whether the actual site, the actual page, is indexed. And it's always going to say it's indexed here before it shows up in Google because there's a delay. But if it says it's indexed here, then you're good. The next step is Google is going to start showing it in their search results. So that's all we really did. We set up a site based on some keyword research, based on looking at the competitors and what pages had traffic and what pages they'd built. We then built some of those pages, not all of them, and linked them together with relevant content based on an optimization tool, which, to be perfectly honest, I think we would have had the same results so far without any optimization. We had relevant content. It was logical. It made sense. It talked about the different types of gates. It talked about what customers are looking for. It had calls to actions. So, and now the site's indexed. Pretty much every page we built is indexed and showing up in Google. So that's really just based on that and the internal linking. because the domain was fresh, everything was brand new, like it genuinely indexed the same day, which just shows that by structuring a site, even a very small 10-page site like this, if you structure it logically, then Google's going to reward you almost immediately.
Now, where is it at as far as ranking, Riz?
So ranking wise,
Where did it come in?
so let me just pull up the rank tracker. It's pulling in at about organic. So that's the ranks we've got so far. Just a few keywords, but it's starting to push in. But some of the main keywords like electric gates and automatic gates. And so looking pretty good so far. Jumped in at around position 40. So what's that? Page 4, page
4,
5.
5, yeah. Okay.
So that's
So
good.
yeah, what I wanted to show is guys like, okay, you guys see where we're at now. And then as we progress and start adding the other stuff. So right now we're like in the on page, the technical stuff of the page. So when you also will hear me say like there's on page, off page, there is like content, backlink, which is kind of off page as well, and traffic. Those are kind of the main pillars. So I think right now we're on the stage of like on page technical stuff that we're taking care of at the
Yeah,
moment.
definitely. So we've got a few keywords ranking there so far. We look at the maps listing. We're starting to come in as well, which is looking good. So this is at the location of, no, it's actually Brisbane. Yeah. So number 7, pretty good for the map ranking already. But again, just the beginning. Most of the keywords aren't ranking. So we'll see them slowly decrease in rank or increase in rank, however you want to, whatever you want to call it, as we go on. But I did want to get to some actual information and some what we're going to be doing moving forward. And I wanted to optimize the GMB because that's something that we can do, which everybody needs to do. And a lot of people probably don't have much experience doing. So basically, we need get back to here. We're going to optimize the GMB. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add, actually, we're going to look at the competitors. And look at the categories. Did we do this last time? Did we look at all the categories and stuff?
No, I think we just did the keyword research on there. And it was more like the website stuff.
Well, we're going to have a look at the GMV and we're going to see what's the categories that the competitors have. And what do we want? So we've got automation company 10, fence contractor 10, fence supply store 7. So these 3 categories are the categories we're going to be looking at. And what we're going to be looking at from here is which categories do the high ranking competitors have, really? Like, if 9 of these 10 fence contractors are low down the page, well, maybe it's not so important as automation company. And we can see off the bat, the top guys who are clearly the dominating force with 175 reviews, they are automation company and home improvement store, surprisingly. And then the next guys, original gates, automation company, fence contractor, manufacturer. We're just going to go down and we're going to look at all the competitors and see what similarities we have and see what categories make sense. for our listing. Currently, we are automations company, but we want to add secondary keyword categories in if they're relevant. This guy's got quite a few: fence supply store, aluminium welder, automation company, electric motor store, fence contractor, metal fabricator. So we can see some of them start to reappear. Automation company, fence supply store, fence contractor. Pretty much everyone's had them so far. Fence contractor. These guys are just a fencing contractor. Automatic gates. It's a repair service, but we're getting lower in the ranking, of course. So we're going to be getting outliers the further we go down. Automation company, electrician. So I think fence contractor and automation company seem to be the most important two.
Now, just to kind of explain to you guys what's kind of going on, this is an extension. So if you look up your maps, like maps.google.com, and you look up the main keyword, it's going to give you a list of them, right? And with this little extension called Plepper, there's a few out there, but commonly known Plepper, it'll give us our categories of what we have. And what we want to do with that, again, is take a look at what our competitors are doing, just kind of the keywords that, when we did the website kind of comparison, what pages, the same thing goes with Google, because we want to connect the dots between the two. I don't want Google to guess. So if we have these categories, I like to put a good like 3-ish, 4-ish, and that's it. And I don't know what, Rhys, your philosophy is, but like on the page, what I like to do is take the page, and this is a tip that I got from Mindsol, is the home page, that menu where it says home, we literally just make the exact same like category. So in this example here in front of us, it'll be automated companies or automation company, service company, all the categories we choose, we'll just make a different page, put a little blurb. You don't even need to do a lot, just a little bit, right? And 500, maybe 1,000. That way, again, we're connecting the dots. I'm probably giving Rhys more work than necessary, but it is a tip in connecting the two, because now we have the GMB category and it's on our website, so we can start connecting those dots as well.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Definitely associating that stuff really, really helps. Because the more you can associate with Google, the more you can sort of show Google and be transparent with Google, the more they trust you. So what we've established is that we should add fence contractor, because most of the other guys had fence contractor. And well, technically we do build fences as well as part of a gate company. So that's the first optimization. So primary is company, secondary is contractor. So then we're going to look at products. So products for the Google business profile. Products for a Google business profile for a service-based business. Your services are your products. So a lot of people might say, "Oh, I don't have products. Like I offer services," and that's definitely your product when it comes to Google. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in some products. And what we do here is, again, we associate the services you offer with the Google Maps listing. So if we come in here to edit products,
and I'm like, this is answering your question here, what Rhys is going through. And then we'll take a step back in a minute, and then I'll break it down for you here in a second. But
Yeah,
um,
about the Klepper. So basically, what we need to do is we need to fill in every service we have. And what I like to do is I like to match the website and match the menu bar. So currently we've got 4 services. We've got sliding gates, swing gates, pedestrian gates, and commercial gates. But when we break the website up further, we're going to have a residential and we're going to have a commercial section. So what I'm going to do is in this, I'm going to have the category residential gates, Brisbane, for the first one, and we're going to have sliding gates, Brisbane. So that's the keyword, sliding gates. We have an internal page for sliding gates, which is this, which is going to be the page that is linked to at the product landing page. The description, because I am lazy, is just the same. If you want to fill it out, you can. I've seen no real benefit in filling it out. You can
and
have
what I also do is I just copy and paste that first paragraph of that page onto here.
Oh yeah.
Just fast, simple, and effective, right? Yeah, just that, boom.
Oh, that's pretty good. I'm gonna do that. That's way easier.
So that's 600, characters there.
And then I'm gonna download the website. I'm gonna download the image.
So even like the image, I tend to use sometimes even the logo, guys, if you have the logo, but I never even thought here you can also use the image of that page on here as well.
Yeah, normally I do use the logo and the keywords, which is why you might have seen I had Canva open earlier, but I didn't do it. So we're doing this instead.
Yep.
I mean, even a black square, really, it doesn't really matter. I mean, this is really more what your business wants to represent. It's the branding of the business. And that's it.
So you see how it's fast, simple, and effective, right? We use the image from the website, the first paragraph of that URL in the description. But I think the magic here happens with the URL. It's specifically to that particular URL. And then we're using the keywords that is already on the website. So we're connecting the dots. So when you guys hear me say connect the dots, your marketing dots, this is an example of what that is. So as you can see, Rhys is putting the images, he's connecting the website, and he's using the keywords of those URLs on there. So it connects one with the other on the website and the GMB. It connects them together. You're connecting those dots. So the product name, adding location in the product name. Yes, 100%. That is the best practice, Sylvia. And I usually do it at the end, especially for local service-based businesses. So as you can see, swinging door is a keyword, and then the location. So now Google is putting one and one together. I don't want Google to guess. So when you guys hear me say, don't let Google guess, and then we do the brand, the product, and location on everything we do, everything. And you can see an example of that here on your GMB, on the website. You see the website, how it's connected, right? And mind you, we already did the competitor analysis, right? We already did the on-page Optimizer Pro. So now we're doing the GMB and we're connecting the both together and we're leveraging one to the other. As you can see, Rhys is doing that right now with the image, with the description, with the URL, and then the keyword with the location. So 100%, yes, it is the best practices on there. 100%.
What I would say in addition to that, though, is if you have a multi-location business, then you don't want to link multiple locations in the one GMB. Like ideally, one city, one GMB, because
100%.
But if you do have the situation where you get a client and they've got 2 or 3 cities and they're servicing with one GMB and they have rank in all of them, by adding the locations, you might lose some rank in the other cities. But best practices is one city, one GMB. So if we stick to that, then we should be fine. And we do then want to include the location in the name. But
We'll get into that, Paul, in a minute. I'll cover that in a little bit because it's a method, right? While Riz is doing this, I'll try to cover that, Paul. So there's different methods, guys, for service area business, for area that you have an address for. Um, and here's the thing: for this one, it was fairly easy. One, because we put up the website, we almost started backwards on this one. Me and Riz were just talking about this earlier. We almost started backwards. We put the website up. It was some decent content. We attached everything. And guys, just to be fair, this is all brand new. It was a brand new email. It was a brand new kind of persona that we did. Nothing was seasoned. Everything was brand new to kind of give it like a fair shake to you guys in a fair case study and example. Like we're literally doing this, over the shoulder to show you. So when we
this
did
page,
it,
we have the documents for the address. So this is like a genuine business, but I thought I'd just clarify for that. But yeah, sorry, continue.
yeah, so it was fairly easy when we requested it. Google didn't give us a hard time with it. From last week, so it was probably like what 2, 3 weeks now, because we opened up the series. I went to the Philippines. I've been trying to recover with the jet lag, and now we're on. So it's been about 3 weekish since we the first series, and we got this open. That's why you see it nice and fresh. We wanted to show you how we do it, how we connect the dots. But so it's just a method, guys. You know, there's to answer that, I might be able to answer you, but then tomorrow it's going to change. So you want to stick it. How do you get documentation? Um, you can find it on the web.
I mean, ideally, when you like you're working with businesses that have a company and an address and a registered office, and um, I mean, there's more nefarious ways of doing it, but that's not really what we talk about on this show. We more
Right.
talk about setting up success for established businesses. I mean, anything that's at the end of the day, doing anything that's necessary to win on Google is a strategy, but you want to set up for success. So when we're talking about building a business, we're talking about building a business. Like this is not a rank and rent tutorial. This is a business sort of, we have an established business and we're building that business or website and we're building the online presence. In
Yeah.
terms
So
of
like this is more of how to show you how to rank, what the best practices look like versus, hey, my rank and rent and how to rank that. This could be applied with everything, right? And that's what we're really trying to show here is how to get those things, like how to the
yeah,
best practices, world in class, not just specifically rank and rent.
and
This,
everyone wants to know how to verify GMBs, but
yeah,
fortunately, that's not something we're going to be talking about.
right.
But
So
Paul, you have a question. All SABs need a physical address. I'd like to touch on this. I think Google rewards businesses that show their address. And in every search result, generally, you're going to see most businesses with a visible address, and you're going to see some businesses with a hidden address. I think it comes down to that trust from Google. And if you're willing to show your address, then you're going to have more trust in Google's eyes, because if Google believes that's where your business is, or then Google's going to trust you more. With the service area businesses, unfortunately, Google's Google's really bad in this regards, because Google says if you have a home office or you have like a fencing or a gate company or something like that, and you don't service clients at your location, you can't have a visible address. But in reality, we all know that every construction company, every plumber is using their home address, because at the end of the day, it works better to have an address visible. So I wouldn't do a project where the address couldn't be visible. And I think you're just setting yourself a huge disadvantage if that address is hidden, because the competitors are breaking the rules by using their home address and using virtual offices and things like that. So even from day one, you're at a disadvantage before you have to start building to work up the trust and the strength. So
So
if the paper wants to expand, then by Google's books, you can only have one service area business, because you can obviously expand the service area to be the whole world if that's what is relevant. When it comes to locations, if you have multiple locations in different actual addresses, if they're different offices or different company setups, then that's allowed. And obviously that's going to be signified by a different website, a different page on the website. It's going to have a different phone number. It's going to have a different address because it's a different office. And that's the best way to structure them if you're going to have multiple locations, or if you've got a multi-location business. Having three service area businesses is not allowed and is probably more risky than having three addresses, because they're most likely going to have the same number and they're going to have the same website. So they can get a little bit intertwined.
So I think it has to be you have to be creative, right? And like what Riz is doing here, like we're tying in one city, but let's say you want to expand, right? Ideally, you want to go at least 30 miles, 20, 30 miles out, and then just get creative, whether it be a client, whether it be an employee, whether it be a technician, whatever the case may be of whatever address you're going to use. Always showing the address is going to be optimal, right? You got, if you show the address, it's a lot easier. But if we don't, somebody asks, can you rank a website without the physical address? Yeah, 100%. Put it up, try it. So far, guys, don't get caught up in the location of the GMB, or does that help? Yeah, 100%. We're going to show it as an example here, but so far what you got is look at the website. What is the competitors doing? What are the keywords? Got it. Okay, then the second thing we did is optimize the content, right? Use any tool, right? You got rankability, you got search atlas, you got pop, right? What's that stand for, Riz? It's escaping me.
Page Optimizer Pro.
Page Optimizer Pro, that's right. You got Pop, Page Optimizer Pro, you got Zim Writer, Zista Writer. Those are five right there. Five, truth be said, I know all of them. I've used almost all of them. Those are cool tools. Boom, there's your tools. Optimize the content, right? Then from there, let Google know, like the sitemap, the Google Search Console. Start with that. See where you land, because the address or the GMB is probably not the reason why you're not ranking or moving up. Once you got that down, then you know where you land. That's why I asked Riz, where are we? Page 5. Got it. But we're just barely starting. Now with the GMB, you got to get creative, right? You can focus on the landing page. And if you do have multiple GMBs, point that to the location page, not to the overall GMB page, but to that location page. And that's all you need. Then from there, you have your different services that you can point to just the service page, kind of like what we see Riz optimizing the GMB here. So you got to get creative. Even with the name, you can do the business name / the city, right? Because we're trying to show Google, okay, this is this location or this location, like Purpose My Marketing Hesperia, Purpose My Marketing Riverside, Purpose My Fontana, you know, a pro aluminum fencing Briston, and you can pick the different cities, right? So that still just maintains the same. You just got to get a little bit creative. Can you do it? Test it, try it. I can show you tons of examples where it works, but then you have somebody that can show me tons of examples that it doesn't work. It just depends on the niche, the area, right? The competition. Harry's here. Harry is what I call in the limo mafia in LA. It is tough. You get something on there. Those guys that are in that niche are on that. It's going to be hard. Ask me how I know, right? So it just depends on the niche in the area that's going to like make or break, depends on what you're trying to do. But the best way, like Riz is saying, if you stay as legitimate as possible with the real business, it's going to come a lot easier and a lot safer for you and maintain.
Definitely. And if you do want to set up another location, ideally the customer sets up a office in a new city, but realistically, we know that's not always possible. You need to make the website reflect the new location. And like
Yes.
you need to have a page for that location. You need to have details about that location. You need to have ideally a phone number for that location and separate it from the main location. And if you can separate it enough by having different details, Google's going to see it as a different entity. And if Google starts seeing it as a different entity, then Google's going to respect it as a different entity and it's going to rank it accordingly. But you can see here, those posts are live. They're done now. So they look fantastic. As you can see here, they're appearing there now. So we click into one, we can see the description. And if we visit the site, it's going to go to the sliding gates page on the website. So we're almost out of time. I did want to go over what we're going to do next. I didn't have as much time to talk about this as I would have liked. But basically, what we're going to do next is next. We're going to build citations. So we're going to build some citations and build some branded Web 2.0s. So that's the next step. And we're going to organize a press release talking about the business being launched, expanding their website. We never want to talk about a business being launched because we never want like a hard signifying date of when the business was created. Because like we don't want to say the business is 10 years old and lie, but we don't want to say anything. Because if Google knows the business was created in October 2024 by the press release and the fact that we're talking about the business was created, then that's kind of like the day that business was created. But if we never mention when the business was created, it could have been an old business that we're just actually making a website for now. So we're not going to tell Google when the website was created. We're not going to say how old the business is. We're just going to ignore all of those details. So next week, we will have the citations, the Web 2.0s, and the press release organized. I don't think I'll have the press release published, but we'll probably, maybe we can do the press release next week.
Yeah. Kind of show how to put it together. Because I think a lot of people get caught up in that.
Yeah. And we're going to have a CTR campaign. But we've spent the better part of 2 years talking about CTR. So don't need to do that. But what I will say is it's going to be a brand campaign. We're going to be running 7 daily searches with 50% of them being driving directions. And that's going to increase by 20% each week per month. So I've mentioned multiple times before, brand campaign. If you haven't seen anything on the brand campaign, basically we take the brand name, we take a bunch of variations, we take a bunch of questions that people ask about the business. We take certain keywords like business name location, business name opening hours, and we just run branded traffic to them. So we're going to do that through CTR Driver. which is a tool, my tool. If anyone's interested in reaching out, then we're happy to do that. Happy to have you on as a client. So, I mean, I'm not here to pitch my services, but if you are interested, reach out. And basically, we're just going to be following this each week. And next week, we're going to be doing this. And then the week after, we're going to be talking about other backlinks and guest posts and sort of how to look for guest posts and what to look for. Is the site quality or is it not quality? And then we're going to move into digital PR, getting press mentions and things like that. But we're just going to keep going forward and keep tracking the progress. In terms of the GMB, we're going to add photos. We're going to get some reviews from customers. And we're going to do the CTR. And you'll see that in association with the website. It's just going to start building the rank. Nothing too advanced, no secret tricks, no hidden concepts. Like we're really just doing the basics and showing that all you really need to do is put one step in front of each other and follow the basics, and you'll be able to get some pretty decent results.
So guys, with that being said, hopefully that made sense. Hopefully we're starting to put the puzzle together as far as when I say certain things, what that actually looks like. And that's what we wanted to show. Like, you know, we can only cover CTR so much. You all know, I think if you look at our old videos, you'll kind of see like how much, how, and all that jazz. Now, what does that look like in reality? And then to be honest with you, if you look, everything that we're talking about, CTR is almost last, right? You want to get the best practices. That way that can work, because you don't want to draw a spotlight to something that is broken. You don't want to put water in a bucket that has holes, if that makes sense. Again, we're just trying to connect the dots, do the best practices, show you what that looks like, and then kind of see the results before and after. And you can apply this to anything. Granted, again, depends on the niche, the location, right? Where you're at, it's going to be easier. You're going to have to do a little bit more or a little bit less. But I think the concept, it still works. There's no magic. It's just the basic stuff. So continue to follow the series, guys. Continue to get in touch of Rhys, get in touch with myself, follow us on, you know, our YouTube channels, on Facebook as well. You know, that way you can review this over and over, do all that fancy stuff that the algorithm likes, the shares on there. I appreciate everyone's love on there. And again, we'll be back next week. You kind of know what we're covering. I want to show you what that looks like. So you're like, okay. So you can kind of crystallize and get a little bit of clarity. Like Rhys says, just putting one step in front of the other. Reach out to us on Facebook, reach out to us. We'll be more than glad to help you on any of these steps, from building the website to Google Search Console to the sitemap, what that looks like, basic stuff, or even audits that we can help you with. Again, the idea is to show you, not just to tell you, so it can get a lot better, like a little bit of clarity. With that said, guys, much love, much success, and I'll catch you on the next one.